Oh shit, here we go again.
So, how's it going everyone? My name is Elias, and now that we got the announcement of a new Dead Space game coming out, in which in this case it's not going to be a new entry of the franchise to where Dead Space 3 Awakened finished off, or a remaster pack like it happened with the Mass Effect trilogy, but instead we are going to get a remake of the first entry, in which from my point of view I think that was the wisest choice they could have come with, based on several reasons. So, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Frostbite engine. I think that will work just fine for the Dead Space remake because, as a solid example that I have, will be the new Star Wars Battlefront games, especially the second one. It is due to the fact that the third person mode is well done and can fit perfectly with Dead Space View, in which I can't deny there are some issues with it, but nevertheless, it will do the job just fine. Another strong point of why I prefer the Frostbite engine is the possibility for modders to create amazing mods. There are modders and maps mods for Battlefront 2 that look quite impressive, and for this kind of level for Dead Space modding, that would be quite impressive, not gonna lie. Just imagine the chance to be able to create or access new areas of the Ishimura or the H7 colony, inspired from areas from the Extraction game, comics, or even the Downfall animated movie. There are a lot of possibilities for modders to recreate iconic moments, and I'll be honest, I cannot wait for the game to come out and try it out. Most of the issues that the PC port of the vanilla Dead Space has will be a thing of the past. The most well known being the mouse unstable sensibility, the VSync problems, some textures and some areas issues. Oh yeah, I'm looking at you, Condola from Chapter 8. But of course, some of the issues that I mentioned can be fixed with the remastered version, but those will be literally like patches applied on the old engine, without giving room for new improvements. On the other hand, with the remake and the new consistently updated engine, there is room for everything. Not to mention as well that with all the technology available so far from Nvidia or AMD that can help improve the game performance and immersion via graphics drivers and software, I mean, that would be literally like a lost opportunity to improve the game, and for us Dead Space fans to have a better experience. During the review that some of the EA Motive developers had with the ING, there was mentioned that they were going to implement in the remake some cut content that did ended up on the final version of Dead Space, or got scrapped during its development due to the fact of the limitations they had so far with the technology that they had in that moment. Nowadays, those limitations are no more and they can be implemented without problems. For example, with the old engine, the drag tentacle took like a lot of time and could have possibly jeopardized the whole project, but in the end they finally to manage it. But let's just hope that the EA learned this lesson from what happened to Anthem, due to the fact that most of the engineers and programmers that knew how to use the engine tools were unavailable at that time to teach the BioWare developers on how to use them, or probably during that time they made better manuals to be more easy accessible. Yeah, let's just hope they learn from that mistake. Well, jokes aside, EA Motive could also improve some of the already implemented features, such as the notorious strategic dismemberment that made Dead Space well known in the first place. But right now it's still early, so we just have to wait for news on their progress. Now that I'm done with the technical section, I'll just straight jump into the lore. The reason why I wouldn't have preferred the Dead Space 4 will be that it will continue from the ending of Awakened DLC, in which it wasn't a bad DLC, but it was the result of the bad storytelling from Dead Space 3. The only interesting part that I found regarding lore, it was basically the whole Sovereign Colony situation, and its mission to find salvation, so to say, on Tau Volantis in order to turn the tide of the war back on Earth with a now known Nurgov. Also, there were a lot of plot holes on how the Church of Unitology got its upper hand against Urgov by attacking all the major colonies and releasing the Necrov Scourge upon the colonists and the Urgov occupiers. And, like, really, even attacking the moon, which is close to the Urgoth, and with a whole overseer faction that are probably members of both sides that didn't intervene or something and still let the madness happen. Well, let's just say that in one part I'm glad that a new installment wasn't mentioned, but I know that some of you think differently and I can understand why. I think they did mention something on improving some elements of the first Dead Space story, but I'm not so sure so far. If everything goes well with this remake, and possibly getting as well a remake of the second game, by getting the same treatment, it could be safe to say that for the third game we could have a totally different story than the one that we got presented with. But only time would tell. To summarize it all, I'm quite happy that Dead Space is back, and especially right now that there are other competitors, such as Negative Atmosphere and the Callisto Protocol being the main ones. So far, regarding Negative Atmosphere, it was already shown what the game will be and its gameplay, and still continues to show up news about its development progress. Also, if you're a Patreon supporter, you get access to more information, as well demos and other stuff, but you cannot share it publicly, so you do need to follow some rules that they established regarding that. As for the Callisto Protocol, so far we only have seen the teaser and some screenshots, but not gameplay trailers whatsoever. But the most important thing about it is that the guy responsible for directing the game is none other than Glenn Schofield. I think it was pronounced, I don't know. Which is basically the same guy that created Dead Space, so Glenn be praised. Not to mention, I've seen a lot of backlash towards EA for reviving the game without its original studio, Visceral Games, that got shut down back in 2017, in which at that time they were working on a single-player Star Wars project, and I can relate to that. I mean, I still feel angry towards them for doing that, but that's already a thing in the past. What I cannot relate is not giving EA Motive a chance to show themselves what they are truly capable of. They cannot be compared to Visceral Games, of course, but it's too early for drama to happen right now after Dead Space got announced on EA Play. We wanted Dead Space back, even with all the rumors that were traveling the internet last month and the hype that it created, and now that it was officially announced it gets backlash, well, I suppose that's how the internet works. Nevertheless, EA Motive is getting help from some confirmed ex-Visceral Games developers that will monitor the progress of the remake, and with time maybe others as well may make a public statement that they are guiding them to the right direction, so let's just hope that more of them will show up. So basically the Remember the Visceral Games hashtag, it's a half wrong statement, as some of its members will still leave their mark on the remake. After all, Dead Space was and will still be their child that they hope to be born and raise it to become special to most of the members of the community, and also help them to basically get all the skills that they achieved so far during the years by making Dead Space or working on other projects that EA set them to do. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you reached this far, I'm totally grateful that you listened to my thoughts on this. And leave a comment below and I'll be more than happy to continue the topic related to the remake, or maybe related to why do you think a remaster of the new or a new game would have been a better option. And nevertheless, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.